My name is Sabina Gonzalez. I'm from Spain, and I work here at the Chapel for Europe as a program and interfaith dialogue manager. This place, my workplace, is so special for me because we get people together. And we get people together from different backgrounds, from different beliefs, from different countries. And we do that through faith and through spirituality. So that's what it makes this place, which is located in the middle of the European Quartet in Brussels, so special for me.
I'm Father Bernd Günter. I'm a German Jesuit, so Catholic, here at the Chapel for Europe. Our chapel is here in the middle of the European quarters, a kind of place where we say we want to make present that Christianity, that faith is a factor within all these European bubble that we have around here, with very close to the institutions, to have a place of prayer, of worship. So for also to have this message that the faith is something for Europe, in Europe, at the roots of Europe.
Let's say as a Christian value, when we open the chapel that has a specific times during the day, the doors are open. This means that everyone is welcome. Of course, that's a risk, but we assume the risk of anyone wanting to enter and maybe damaging some of the things that we have here, or even trying to damage the ones who work here. But this is like, I think, the everyday risks that we face everyone during our life. So you can walk out and to the street and a pot of plants can go into your head. So this is the same. So it's within our spirit of Christian to welcome everyone. And the door is always open when the chapel is open.
We're a small chapel here. We're not one of these big public churches, but we have the same questions as many Christian churches have about security. It is not that much kind of question of physical dangers or violence. It may be more the question about people using it, however, kind of the direction of vandalism, of maybe people with mental health issues coming and being in churches and disturbing the normal atmosphere there, which is for us not a very big thing. We try to open our chapel as much as possible, but we are not open the whole day, which I regret. We are discussing it regularly. We should be an open place, because the church does not belong to a few, but the church is a place for all Christians and for all people. So what we do is we try, when we open, to have somebody around, somebody at the accueil. So first to welcome the people, to be there as a contact person, to give information and all that. But it's also important to have somebody there just to give the signal of you're not alone here. It's a place where you are welcome, and hopefully you don't come on ideas to all these things with vandalism or whatever it is, or small robberies or whatever. So we try to have somebody around, have the presence of a person. I think that is very important for us. That's the most important thing.
I think that the main challenges that we as a faith-based organization we're facing is that people are seeking for spirituality. They don't know what kind of a spirituality, but it's true that some of them are like against anything, let's say, churchy. So what we try to do here is just open our doors, show them what the church is, and see that the church, maybe this will break their ideas, the prejudices that they had before, and see that maybe attending an art exhibition, a movie night, conferences. Faith is something else, and spirituality is something else. So I think we have to fill the void that these people are having, and they come searching for this fulfilledness of their own spirituality.
People are, on one side, many people are looking for spirituality. On the other side, they do not easily find it within the established churches or religions, I don't know. But there is this longing, the longing for a deeper sense, which for us Christians is clearly directed towards God, and to find a sense in my life and to live according to it. That. So we see that our societies are more and more secularized, at least what we experience as Christian churches. The churches are emptier than they used to be. People say we don't really need it anymore, which I personally don't believe, but the question is, what exactly do they need? How do they need it? And there the chapel is also a place where we try to experiment a bit to see what can we offer to people so that their spiritual longings finds a place where they could go. For those who are Christians, for those who are interested, we are very open in all directions, but we want kind of bringing the people to God. That would be the main purpose for us, especially here in this European milieu, those who are from the different European cultures and backgrounds, who might not find exactly what they had at home here, who are looking for how could I live this in Belgium, what am I looking for. So I hope as a chapel we can offer something to them.
I think it's essential. I think that we cannot avoid nowadays the situation of living together with people of other faiths. And what we are facing most of the times is fear. Fear to the other, fear to the unknown. And with interfaith dialogue, what we try to achieve is, first, know the other one. Understand the other one. Understand maybe and learn about the rituals, the faith, the important, let's say, milestones within their faith. And it's not just that I have to agree with the other one. It's not just that the other one wants to convince me of his faith. You have to stay strong with your faith. And you have to start an exchange. And maybe learn how to disagree well. Okay, we don't agree, but I understand your point and you understand mine. That's it. And that's something that right now cannot be avoided, because societies are becoming more and more diversified and trying not to make polarized societies, but unify societies, and that everyone works towards the common good, because all religions want the common good of the people of faith. That's what we have to do.
Faith is important, I strongly believe, for everybody. But in our societies, we are not that much favorable of promoting one's own faith, or talking about it, of exchanging. But I think everybody needs it. And then you cannot live your faith alone. You have to be in a kind of network, in a community where you can share about it, where you can learn about it, where you can kind of get feedbacks on your experiences, where you get inputs. And I think all that is important already within the community. But within our society, we see that we have to come together from the different communities. Already within Christianity, it is a challenge to bring the different churches together, but it is also the same importance to bring the people of different faiths together, to be able to talk about my own experience and to listen, to really listen to the experience of the others, and to be able to communicate what is important for me, what is important for you. How do we belong together in our search for spirituality, our search for God, and our search for what is important in our lives? And there, I think, if we really come to listening to one another, so not only exposing my experience, that's it, but seeing that others make very interesting experiences in different ways, we can learn a lot. And it is good for myself to have to explain it. And it's good to listen and to learn from others what they experience in their life. And I think the interfaith dialogue is really something that brings those in the society together who are looking out for faith in a society where often enough you're not really invited to talk about your faith. Let us help one another with that. Let us reaffirm one another of our ways with our faith. So as a Chapel for Europe, we are quite well connected with a lot of different groups of different faiths. So towards the Jews, towards Muslim groups, towards also others like the Buddhists or the Hindus, which are... The first thing is, as the chapel, we are within the European bubble, the European milieu, because, and there are others also who say, for us it is important that our faith has a place in Europe. So we are in contact with a good number of groups, and from time to time we try to organize here conferences, workshops, ateliers, different things, normally in collaboration, to invite the people to enter into this way of listening to one another and learning from one another, and together living in this society, being witnesses of our faiths in this society, which really needs it, I think.
I would say, as I mentioned before, that our place of worship, our little chapel, welcomes everyone. And that's already a lot. I mean, having in our DNA that anyone who comes through the door is welcome. Anyone who comes and asks questions about the chapel, what we do, what we aim to, we will answer them. Nevertheless, their background, their faith. On the other side, of course, we aim to organize events or other type of, get together with people of other faiths and invite everyone so they can see that, okay, there are like some differences, but when you go deep, the values are the same. So we are all the same. And I think that's something that we want to transmit to the people who visit the chapel, or who visit our social media or our YouTube channel. And we have to work, as was said before, towards peace and towards the common good.
Our mission is especially towards the European level. So we're trying to bring the people together. We're trying to invite, we're trying to be an open house, a place of prayer, of worship within this European quarter. And I think the very important thing is that we offer this kind of mixture of, partly we have reflection on what is going on what happens in Europe, what is really the daily questions that are important for the people. Then spirituality, to offer them, to develop, to offer people of all these European countries, to offer them to develop their own spirituality, to learn about it, to deepen the faith. I think that is something. We always get the feedback that there are many people who are looking for it. So, and then also in this kind of the dialogue with others, interfaith dialogue, is a very important thing. To bring this together at this place, so really to have a kind of a physical address where this can happen, where we are able to invite everybody and to say, you're welcome, come here. Let us be together, let us talk, let us celebrate together, let us pray together. I think there is something which we can really offer, because at least in my observation, within this European level, there are not many places for that. The different groups have their own, whatever, churches, communities where they come together, but really to bring them all together. In the offices, they are sitting desk by desk, very mixed up together. But also for the questions of faith, of what gives sense to my life, to bring them together and not to keep them in their Spanish, German, Polish, whatever community. I think that is for the Europe in the long run very important that we together, the different churches, but also the different religions, that we give this, that we support all those who are standing for their faith in their societies or here in the Brussels European society.
I mean, one of the first things I think faith leaders should do is not to transmit fear during their celebrations, in this case, their masses, or I'm talking from the point of view of a Catholic. So you don't have to transmit fear towards the other ones. No, you have to say, of course, they have other beliefs, but at the end, as I said before, in the bottom, we are the same. We look for the same. So it's a very important role. I think, of course, here in the chapel, that's in our DNA. That's for sure. But what happens maybe in some synagogues, in some mosques, that's something that it's very important, because the people who go to a faith place, they believe what their leader they're saying. And it's important that faith leaders get together and they exchange, and in this way they can work towards those maybe emerging hatred opinions from one to related to the other. So faith leaders should work together at that level as faith leaders.
Protection of communities comes at the end. First, the faith leaders have to create the community, to invite the community, to create an environment, an atmosphere where people say, yes, this is my community. I want to be here. I want to come back. So that is the most important thing. And certainly this needs to be protected. So if I go somewhere and I see everything's a bit strange here, or I don't really feel welcome, or I'm not sure if it's safe here, you cannot create a community. So I think all faith leaders have to make sure that their places of worship are places of welcome, of hospitality, places where people feel well, feel at home, and not, is it okay here or not? So I think that is, in my opinion, the most important thing. Certainly, those communities who really have security issues, there the leaders have to make very sure that this balance between keeping up an open house and hospitality and kind of making sure that nothing can disturb this. To find there the right balance is a very difficult task, and that must come from the leaders to make sure everybody can feel at home without feelings of insecurity or so.
Our relation is very good, but it's minimal. Minimal in the sense that only when we organize maybe high-level conferences or get-togethers with representatives of different faiths, also of a high level, we contact them to prevent them that this event is going to take place, and then they take their own measures regarding this. Maybe placing a police car in the street, at the entrance of the chapel, maybe being present here at some moment, and that's it. But thank to God, we have to say that we never had any issue at all.
Also, the Western churches would say that it is our responsibility in the society to take a role, to speak up if necessary, especially for all questions, all ethical questions of bringing sense into what happens in the society. Surely the roles in the different churches are different. That is true. The Western churches had played big roles in the societies. So wherever you are, there were times when the church, the priests, the bishops were really important public figures. That has been reduced, and almost everywhere we are living in the situation where we cannot go back to these good old times, if they ever were good, but that we have to find a new role. And one of the roles is surely first to bring the community together, but then within the community and with the community to take a role inside the society. It is not the public leader who can pressure the politics to do whatever, but to bring in our reflections, our experiences, our hopes, our ideas of how a world, a good world, full of what God wants for us, so the kingdom of God in the Christian sense. So this, the justice and peace and a good living for everybody. We have the task to work for it. Whether it is always the leader or whether these are the members of the community who are supported by the community, by the leader, that is a different question. So at least in the Catholic Church, we try very much to avoid what was called the clericalism, so that the priest or the bishop, they are everything and they know everything and they can do everything. Every Christian, every believer has this, will automatically feel what I believe, I have to bring it into my surroundings. I have to bring it into my society. I cannot sit there and say, oh, but I'm believing and that's it. It is something which is meant for to invite others, to help to build up a just society, a society of peace, where we take care of one another, where especially the poor and the marginalized are not left aside but integrated, taken back in. That's a huge challenge which comes to the whole community, not only to the leaders.
Well, that's a complicated one because really it depends also I mean, my advice, I think I can give them to other churches, but I don't feel sufficient, let's say, with enough knowledge to give my advice to other faiths. So to my own churches, I think we have to keep the door open and we have to welcome everyone, because it's within our spirit of Christians to welcome everyone. Of course, you have to watch and be careful with maybe some things, but other than that, no. Let's make Christian spaces open to everyone and that everyone feels welcome.
The wish would be that all these places can really be open, welcoming places. That hospitality, that welcoming the people of the own community and of other communities can be the normality. So really to work for that. And I think sometimes we even have to take a bit more risks. So why not open the church, the place, the whole day? Yes, something could happen, we know, but without a risk, and the risk towards openness and hospitality. Not being too much afraid. Not thinking, oh, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. Yes, maybe there are real dangers, but to take a risk rather towards the being open, welcoming, coming together, getting into a dialogue, celebrating together, praying together. That we always have to see that is the important thing. Closing down doesn't help anybody, even if we have to make sure that the people who come are not endangered by coming or don't feel unwell by being here. But let's take the risk towards the others, towards openness.